Guys, good morning. This morning I'm going to fix my big rock. Well, I'm going to start fixing it. I don't think I'm going to get it done this morning. I know I'm not going to get it done this morning. I would film the whole thing, but I think it's going to take a little bit this morning, a little bit at lunch, and then some another day. I've got quite a bit of work to do here. We got to replace the chassis on it, replace the differentials on it, and then maybe while I have it all apart, I might lock up the diffs and do some other modifications to it. I am super surprised, guys. This thing got hit by an 8S Mojave doing 120 kilometers an hour. I hit it head on, but the body took it. There's no cracks on the body, and yet the chassis snapped. The body actually held this thing together. When we hit it, the body held it together and we were able to drive it away a little bit, like 40 feet, but that's insane. This body is super thick. Shout out to Arrma for that. Good job. This thing looks like it's going to be a nightmare, guys. A slash is way easier to work on. This thing's a bit of a pain. So there's a couple ways you can do this. You can clear off a section beside you and lay the bolts out where they're going to go, like bolt here, 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 and work yourself through the truck. But I mean, I've got a busy day ahead of me. We're going to have air guns going, air blowers going. I don't want to take a chance of any of the screws getting blown around. So my other method that has served me well and will help me when I'm out in the field later on is I color code all the bolts. So every bolt is marked to a color coded hole. So when you're out in the field later on running it and you break something and you take a bunch of parts off, you could just put them into a magnetic tray and then you'll know where exactly they go. So that's what I'm going to do. It takes a bit more time to mark all the bolts, but it's worth it down the road later on. All right, guys, I'm going to start wrenching. Hopefully I have everything. It's going to take a bit of work. We've got to rebuild the shocks. So that's going to take some work. And we've got to strip out the whole chassis, everything. Right away I can tell I prefer the slash better. You can just unbolt the bulkheads and then replace the center part. This thing, the bulkheads are molded into it. So you've got to disassemble everything. So guys, I'm going to start wrenching. I've got about an hour to get this thing apart. Hopefully an hour to put it back together at lunch. And I'll see you when it's all done. Or I'll get you back on if I come across anything crazy hard. All right guys, see you in a bit. All right guys, I have it all apart. The front, I did one bolt at a time and then kind of just gently placed it back in. The top housing is still loose here. You have to put all the steering and servos in. Underneath, guys, there's only a couple screws actually. Most of these are all the same, and then down the side they're kind of all the same, but I did mark them. This one is different, so not too much. They are marked, like I said I would. But the front, guys, I kind of just did one bolt at a time and placed it on the new chassis. The rear one, I was able to leave in one big chunk and kind of just bend stuff and move stuff and wiggle this that way. And so it came out in one big kind of chunk. I'm just going to work on this differential, the rear one, and see if I can lock it up. I'm going to leave the front one open so it turns better, but I'm going to lock the rear one up so it wheelies better. So I'm going to work with that. The electronics come out in one big chunk, guys. Everything's still attached. I didn't have to unplug anything. Even the steering came out still attached to the servo. The trickiest part about it is the motor and everything just click in. So the motor bracket slides into this channel. And the hardest part of everything was trying to get this guy out. And it just slides out, but it's quite tough. You have to get down with screwdrivers and kind of wiggle it out, but it slides in to lock the motor into its slidable channels. So only one screw really holding like all the motor together. Actually, there might be two, here and here. Other words, not everything here slides apart, guys. All right, I'm gonna clean this up, lock that diff up, and reassemble it, and we'll get it out and bash it, guys. Bam, guys, it's all back together. Took about an hour and 20 minutes to swap the chassis. Really not too bad. I do like the fact that the spur, slipper, and pinion motor all come out in one chunk. I like that the electronic speed controller, servo, and steering comes out in one chunk. That's really cool and really sped up the process. I'm quite happy with that. I did not lock up the diff. It's a bunch of planetary gears in there. I just didn't have time to clean it out and put thicker grease or the earplugs in it. So that is stock for the time being. Over the winter, I might lock it up. Yeah, not too much to worry about, guys. Underneath, I doubt you would screw up the screws. They're pretty much not all the same, but all the ones with tapered heads are the same, and all the ones down here without tapered heads in these holes are the same. This is the one oddball, and there is one diff screw up front here. So I doubt you mix them up. It's pretty easy to put back together. So that's it for this video, guys. We're gonna get it and bash it, and we will modify it over the winter. I might 6S it. There's lots of room in here. It's just this bracket might be in my way. So looking at it, it looks like it's going to be in the way to 6S it, unless we can figure out some way to shove this up. All right, guys, that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next video. Lots to come, guys. Tons of parts showing up today, and we're going to start the world record build soon. So stay tuned, subscribe, like, hit the notification button. I'll see you in the next video.